This, hello, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is going to be a short one. I was in the yard today and I had to talk to somebody. And I'm going to tell you something. My garden is on fire. When you look at the soil, when you look at the soil, I can't even believe it sometimes. It started 3 years ago. I got an idea um, looking around on the internet, and it kept talking about chop and drop, and but it was still confusing. It was very confusing because they kept talking about using only certain plants, and I knew that wasn't right. I knew what they was trying to do is make something that was simple, very complex. I knew that, so I said, "Wait a minute, something's not right here." They keep talking about comfrey and so, a couple other plants that they said these are great for chop and drop because they're higher in nitrogen and that sort of thing. And I said, "Wait a minute, all plants have one thing in common: they're plants, and all plants, when you cut them down, will go back into the soil as nutrients." And once I started using what I had, that's where the idea came from for me that it works. I started noticing that when I chopped and dropped and I left it there, it would disappear. It would the plants that would grow back in the area would grow back bigger and they would grow back healthier. And I said, wait a minute, this is the area where I threw all of my debris from my crops. This is the area over here where I threw all those grass clippings at, those weeds and vines. Um, and when I did that, I was all set, folks. Chop and drop is the way to go for me for life. It's just that simple. I love it. It works. Um, the soil that I have now is so rich. It's loaded with worms. Loaded, and I mean loaded with worms. Loaded with insects. But when I see worms, when I pull through the grass and I see worms sitting on top of the ground and they run off like a fast critter. I know that they're in an area where they're absolutely happy because worms usually stay underground, right? Not these worms. These worms sit on top of the ground. As I pulled through the grass, they were on top of the surface, just sitting there. And you would pull the grass and they would just take off. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, he moving like a snake. But I said, he's here because the soil is rich in nutrients. And I go through there with my weed trimmer or I go through there with my lawnmower and I trim everything down and I let it sit there. Within a few hours, some of it turns right into a brown, looks like a straw. So I like it. I love it. I will keep doing it. Once I trim them down around my fruit trees, they make my fruit trees produce better. They make my fruit trees healthy and deep, rich green color of my leaves. Um, I just go through there with the weed trimmer in the difficult to get to areas, and then the areas that's wide open. I go through there with the lawn tractor, and I cut it down to as low as I can get it, and it's just a beautiful thing, folks. It's beautiful. So I thought I'd pass that on to anyone who might be interested in improving their soil. And in fact, what I'm going to do, if you're interested, I got a video that I'm going to put up tonight. It'll be downloaded by tomorrow. It takes me a long time to upload a video. Apologize for that, but it should be up there by early in the morning or late in early in the morning or in the morning, folks. The next day. It's going to take it a while to upload this video to YouTube. It's a beautiful piece of work that I did, in my opinion. It is great. It's showing you the plants, how healthy they are, the deep, rich color they are, the fact that they're producing flowers so fast, and I'm excited about that. Tomorrow I will go out and I will feed everything again, um, and then I'll give it a well. It rained tonight, so I might not water it. I might not water it until the next day because I have a thing about overwatering plants. I don't like to do it because it's not a natural way that nature does it sometimes. Hey, thank you very much for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. But definitely keep in mind that if you ever think about using chopper drop in the way that I use it, gardening is not that neat. It just isn't. Unless you have time to stay on it, then you can have it a little neater. But folks, all I use now primarily is that manure fork to plant my plants, and I also use this little slim spade shovel. I use that when I go to put a plant in that's got to be planted, deep. And I don't, something like a tomato plant. I put plants in the ground now, folks, and it just take off. I'm not sitting there wondering if this plant gonna do okay. I just put it in the ground and it takes off. So I'm happy, folks. I'm a happy man. Um, I have bought some plants from Mr. Lee Farmer 73 was online talking about buying low cost plants. I've done that for many, many years, and I do appreciate his video for getting that word around so that people know that you can actually save some money. Um, so think about it, folks. Definitely get your stuff, your plants sometime after the gardening season. And if you do it that way, you can get a lot knocked off those plants, that cost of those plants. Um, I have two grapevines that I paid $1 each for. $1. They were originally going for $7 a piece, and now they're going for $1. Um, I got what's that plant called? It's called a hardy kiwi. I paid a little bit more for it than I should have, about $6. It was really going for about seven something, 7.98 or something like that. But if I'd have waited a few more days, I'd have got it for $1. But I got a little anxious. Nobody's perfect. So, folks, on that note, please do me a favor. I think I'm gonna run this up to 10 minutes. Um, Definitely start looking at your weeds a little different than you've been looking at them all your life. Just look at those weeds a little different. For those weeds, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. I don't care what they say anymore. I know what's right. And that's when I started doing better, when I stopped listening to some of those quote unquote professional people that will give you misinformation in a heartbeat. Um, and if you keep listening to them, you'll be out there tilling and sweating in the sun and digging up your yard with shovels and hoes and things like that. I don't do any of that no more. In fact, I got two beautiful hoes in my shed that I don't know what I'm gonna do with them because I don't use them anymore. I sharpen them up. They've been used. They're not in any bad shape or anything, and they're beautiful tools. I guess someday if I do any cement work, I might use them. But other than that, they won't be used in the garden because I don't use them. I used to take those hoes and actually be breaking my back trying to dig a straight little line to put something in, and the soil would be hard as a rock, and I hated I hated doing stuff like that. I got tired of doing it like that. Now all I do is go through when the weeds get deep enough, cut them down. They come back, cut them down, cut in between my plants when I put them there, cut them down, and all it does is produce all this rich brown uh, uh, plant life on the top of the surface, and worms be all up under them, folks, all up under that stuff. And then when I need to put something in the ground, a lot of times, like I have some peppers that I'm gonna put in sometime this week, I will not use a shovel to plant those. I will not use a hand trowel to plant those. All I would do is get my manure, uh, what they call it, my manure rake out. Excuse me, not rake, fork. Get my manure fork out and start digging with it, put it in the ground. It's a lot easier to make holes with that because those little slender prongs that go in the ground, put them in there 8 inches deep, folks, all the way down, and make a hole about a foot across, 8 inches deep, and put the tomato plants or the pepper plants in there, And when with all the weeds on top, I'll do this with the weeds being right on top because all I'm going to do when I get when I get everything loosened up, I'm just going to grab the weeds and they're going to come right out of the ground. And you don't have to fight them. You can just shake them off, take your soil back down, and toss them right next door on the ground. And when you toss them on the ground, they're not going to do but rot and go right back into the ground. I love it. I don't know why I wasn't doing this 10, 15 years ago. I mean, it's just a beautiful way of doing things. It's, it's so beautiful doing things this way. Babyface trucker message retracted. Oh, okay. I think they retracted it. Yeah. So that's the way it works, folks. And I'm gonna tell you something. It works. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna tell you, the video I'm putting up tonight is going to be enlightening for you to see it because you're gonna see soft black soil. You're gonna see deep green plants, trees that are, the leaves and everything are healthy on the trees due to the fact that they're being fed properly. You're going to see that when you look at it because they're also benefiting from a chop and drop. Because I'm chopping and dropping everything, and everything underneath those trees, around those trees, is just in good shape. Um, my raspberries are doing great. I mean, they're doing good. Watermelon, big leaves. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see big yellow flowers on them. I'm just saying, folks, this is the way to go for me from here on out. This is the Morning Gardener. Thank you very much, folks, for tuning in. I appreciate you. This is, like I said, was going to be a short one. And thank you very much. And remember, keep on growing. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.